Tuesday, December 30th, and you're watching the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by our good friends over at FanDuel. I'm going to be your host for the next hour and a bit, Jace Cooper, alongside my producer, Jacob Gramegna, behind the boards. Nope, that's don't
know how that happened.
That's all good. It happens. It's the end of the year. Things like that sort of happen when it comes to this time. Hope everyone's enjoying their holiday season. Excited to get into the show today. Speaking of the show today, we got a great guest. Great cast of characters. Great crew lined up. Batting leadoff, as he normally does on the Tuesday. Drew Dinsick coming in, going to talk some NFL futures. We're not really going to pay attention to Week 18. There's not really much going on. We're going to look ahead. We're going to look towards the playoffs, wild card round. Maybe talk some what we project out, what he projects out some spreads to be. Maybe take a look at some futures markets, things of that nature. And then, of course, Austin Mock's going to come on. He hates talking Bulls. We got to eliminate bowl season from the graphic for Austin. We're going to be talking quarterfinals and also just looking ahead to the semifinals of the college football playoffs. I think a lot of people enjoyed us looking ahead after the first round, before the first round of the college football playoffs. So they can get kind of like an early look. And FanDuel, of course, has these hypothetical lines that you can actually bet into if you're interested in doing that. So semifinal hypotheticals that you can take a look at, you can bet into if you like or agree with Austin's opinion here. We'll also try and take a look at some, like, let's call it exotic markets for the college football quarterfinals. I mean, we'll get into the quarterfinals in a bit. Kirk's then going to come on and talk some NBA stuff. What's with college football having like 12 days, almost a full 2 weeks between the first round and the quarterfinal game? I feel like that is just kind of ridiculous. I feel like the playoffs lost a little bit of steam, but whatever. We get a game tomorrow, so excited for that tomorrow, and then on January 1st. Before we get into things here, just want to quickly talk to you guys about our good friends over at BetStamp. With football in full swing and basketball back on the board, now's the time to lock in the BetStamp Pro props screen. Pro is built for high-level bettors who need to spot and scale up edges fast between NFL Sundays, college football Saturdays, and daily NBA action. Prop markets are more liquid and prices are sharper than ever. So the window to exploit inefficient numbers is right now. You can't do that without a hyper-efficient, reliable, true line that shows you real market prices in seconds across 150 plus outlets, helping you find and hit scalable edges fast. Don't wait. The opportunity to capitalize on the prop market is right now. Visit betstamp.com/hammer to scan the QR code to apply for a demo. Spots are limited during the season, so if you want to do it, make sure you do that. betstamp.com/hammer. All right. Interesting stuff. A great question from Anthony here. What are you guys Canadians going to do about the new? What are you non-Canadians going to do about? I can't tell you. He's asking the question about the new bill that's going to get enacted. It was in January in the U.S. The tax bill. Honestly, haven't paid, probably a bad thing. Haven't paid any attention to it. But I'm also from Canada, so it has we're from Canada here. It doesn't really have much effect on us.
Betting is a hobby in Canada, so it's not taxed at all.
It's not my
unless you're a professional.
Yeah, I'm not a professional bettor, so I don't get taxed on my winnings, which is pretty nice. Anyways, that's a great question. Maybe
somebody in chat help Anthony out because we got nothing.
Maybe we'll ask the guy coming up here next.
If you're serious into betting, I think an accountant is certainly somebody you should be speaking with.
Absolutely. Maybe we'll ask Drew about it. And we'll bring him on right now. He's an NFL, NBA, tennis handicapper. He's a betting analyst for NBC Sports Bet. He's a co-host of the Deep Dive podcast. Drew, how's it going?
Oh, it's going great, man. Hope you guys had a good Christmas and are planning on a fun and exciting New Year's. It's best time of year. Absolutely love when things slow down and the calls and the emails and the messages all peter out, and you can just take some time to catch up on some movies and some TV you missed during the year, and really lean into the sports. So this is as good as it gets.
It's the best time of the year. I love it. You get to spend time with your family and friends, depending on who you are, because apparently this last weekend Twitter was on fire, but I couldn't tell you I couldn't tell you about that because I was spending time with my family and friends. And I come home. I come here Monday for work. I open up the Circle back run sheet. I'm like, what the hell just went on the internet? Andy was going after Zilbert. Like, there's just a lot going on there. But good thing you stayed off the Twitter.
Yeah, that's warranted.
That's very warranted.
Yeah,
absolutely cooked him. But yeah. Anyways, best time of year. By the way, watch the movie Klaus. If you've never seen the movie Klaus, go watch the movie Klaus. Great Christmas movie. I think I heard you snickering a little bit in the background about the tax bill here.
Oh yeah.
Do you want to comment on it at all? Do you have any? Your
best advice I can give you: pay your taxes. I don't have anything else for you there.
Yeah. Hire an accountant probably is the best thing to do there. All right, let's get into things here. Let's talk some playoff predictions. There was an interesting quirk here because I think a lot of people or at least sportsbooks didn't realize this, that the Panthers had like a way easier path and like are very likely to make the playoffs now because of it's not them making the playoffs doesn't just hinge on them being the Buccaneers. They could lose to the Buccaneers, and if Atlanta wins this week because Atlanta won last night, they still make the playoffs because of the 3-way tiebreak rule. So let's operate under the assumption that Carolina is in.
Okay.
And I guess let's start there. Let's start with the NFC. How do you want to approach this? How do you want to talk about this? Do you have like hypothetical matchups priced out yet?
Sure.
Let's go through these.
Yeah, sure. So NFC is a lot more fluid, obviously. You got to think a little harder about how some of the fabric could change. I don't think that there's realistically any world where, other than maybe like if it's like Rams, Panthers or Rams, Bucks, I don't know that there's a world where anyone's more than a touchdown favorite in the NFC in the wild card round. Every game's probably going to be around a field goal. The interesting wrinkles that could change with the outcomes in week 18 are obviously who gets the 1 seed. I personally have Seahawks in that matchup. I think they should be closer to 2.5 point favorites. So I backed Seattle there. Excited to see what the Wizard Kyle Shanahan has for Mike McDonald's defense, which hasn't really ever proven he's solved. And so that's going to be a fun matchup. And I think the weakest unit on the field is the Niners D. So I'm just kind of most likely outcome here. I have Seattle as your 1 seed. Bears Lions is another movable piece where I think there's absolutely a world where the Lions win that game and then the Bears slide to the 3. Most everybody right now is sort of expecting we're going to get Packers Bears because the Packers are locked into the 7, and that would be your 2-7 if the Bears win. But I think there's a very real world where Eagles take care of business against the Commanders, even with backups, and they potentially are your 2 versus 7 against Green Bay. I'm more interested in that being the outcome than seeing Bears Packers for the 3rd time, even though we've had 2 classics, and particularly that game 2 was so memorable. But let's kind of go through the potential outcomes here. So 2-7 Bears Packers, ostensibly the most likely because the Bears are favored this week, would be, again, with a healthy Jordan Love, but with all of the other limitations right now for Green Bay and essentially having a bye this week. I think that's going to be Green Bay as a small favorite on the road. I think the fact that we have recent history of this closing number, definitely informs what that would be. Chicago closed -1 in that game, if I remember correctly. I think there was enough signal from that game that would make Packers a small favorite, considering they get essentially an extra rest and would have Jordan Love coming back. I would take the Packers plus money if you do get that opportunity. But I think the Packers are going to be small favorites. If it is Philly Green Bay in the 2-7, Philly at home is a really tough place to play. And in the playoffs, you probably see something more like Philly -3, -3.5 is potentially as high as I could see that market. And that's probably a decent opportunity to bet Packers, although you really got to swallow the fact that the Packers defense has been pretty terrible now going on a month and clearly very much misses Micah Parsons. So yeah, interesting. That'll be the toughest one to make a call on if it's Philly at or around 3. If you're not getting 3.5, if you're getting 3.5, then the Packers would be the bet, I think.
All right, interesting enough there. I guess whoever gets the fight for the 2 seed is pretty important because I think you'd rather play the Packers than the Rams. Are you? I know it's so late in the season; it's tough to downgrade teams, but like Rams after last night, are you worried about them at all? Is there like a little bit of pause? Because before this week, we talked about them for like the last month-ish as like the most complete team in the NFC, maybe the most complete team in the NFL in terms of offense and defense. Do you still feel that way?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, well, the defense is obviously bad. They've had their pants pulled down.
Yeah.
They've been exposed. The secondary in particular is gettable. The linebacking core, if Landman is not 100%, is gettable. They have a good D line, but that can only get you so far in terms of like you can put away a lead. You can't necessarily, give yourself the opportunity for comebacks. Now they did it last night thanks to the special teams touchdown. At least gave themselves a chance. But I think the Rams offense is still absolutely masterful, and I would expect that they can go on the road and score points and challenge some of these NFC teams. So yeah, the kind of the interesting calculus for me, at least in terms of how the NFC playoff picture shapes up. If the Seahawks get the 1 seed and have home field throughout, then they are very live to go to the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. If the Seahawks are a wild card team, then I'm kind of out. Like not expecting Sam Darnold with this offensive line in the state that they're in to be able to go on the road and get wins in the playoffs. Meanwhile, Stafford with his O-line relatively healthy and the weapons they have in the passing game, Devontae Adams will be back. Mm-hmm. They will be very, very dangerous with their 12 and 13 personnel sets. So yeah, the Rams as a 5 or 6 seed, extremely dangerous. Getting to bet the Rams against Philly in a 3-6 if the Rams are getting points is going to be very, very fun opportunity, and I will happily do that. That's a fun matchup just because McVay versus Fangio has always been a really close call. But I think McVay is doing some really awesome things offensively in terms of scheme right now, and I would expect that he can get that win in Philly if it's the 3-6. The Rams going on the road to either San Francisco or Seattle in the second round of the playoffs as the 1-6 matchup potentially, assuming that the Packers don't spoil the party. Rams plus points potentially on the road against either of those teams is a decent bet, even with those teams getting extra rest and having home field. There's not really a matchup that I see across the NFC right now that spooks me if I'm a Rams futures holder. And I think they're going to have to score 30 points in a given night to get a win because their defense is a bit problematic, but I think they have the most complete offense in terms of healthy personnel.
All right. I think I agree with you in terms of the Rams having a complete offense. The Niners offense also looks incredible and has looked incredible for the past couple of months. I wonder if they can get the Fred Warner bump. A lot of talk of if he's going to come back, maybe not. I think they could be a little bit of a force of a team. We'll have to see, though. If you had to pick a winner right now, gun to your head, NFC Championship winner at the current odds, Seattle plus 270, Rams plus 330. If you want to go deeper down the board, 49ers plus 430, Eagles plus 480, Bears plus 800. What are you taking here?
The big equity swing is going to be Saturday night because if the Seahawks lock up the 1, then they should be the short shot, clearly the short shot. If the Seahawks lose, which is a coin flip, then game on, give me Rams all the way. I gun to head, I'll say Rams, even though they got to go on the road and get it done. It is tough to go against Kyle Shanahan, especially if he's going to have home field, and he is absolutely a wizard. But Trent Williams now banged up. People seem to be a little bit undercounting that in this matchup against the Seahawks in particular. I think that's going to matter. Brock Purdy is a little bit more of a high variance player in terms of making some mistakes, and just he's not really even making mistakes, but he's kind of unconscious out there, just kind of, in my opinion at least, the true avatar of Shanahan, just throwing with anticipation, as in throwing 2 open spots on the field that can sometimes be not open if there was confusion or misdirection from the defense, which is what Mike McDonald is so good at. So I think that's why I'm leaning Seattle gets the 1 seed. I think that's a fair short shot if they have home field advantage, but gun to head, I'd say Rams.
All right. Gun to head Rams. Let's flip over and talk AFC. The big question mark in the AFC is the Steelers or the Ravens. I think everyone talks about the voodoo that Mike Tomlin has and like the skeletons in his closet. I wonder if the deal he made with the devil is that he's just only allowed to get 9 wins in a season, and that's it. He's like forced to. So that's like kind of the big decider. Jacksonville getting the 3 seed over Houston, Houston getting the 3 seed over Jacksonville is going to need like a pretty like plus 600-ish parlay for that to happen, like pretty low odds. So it's about as stands right now. It seems like the Chargers are taking the week off, resting their starters, so they're going to likely to lose to Denver. Buffalo almost situated in the 6th seed. Talk us through these playoffs matchups here. Let's assume, I mean, the Ravens are favored right now. They've just been so uninspiring as of late. They're minus 180 right now on the money line. Let's just assume the Ravens are in, which would be like a pretty big swing here. Talk to me about the AFC, assuming that happens and everything else sort of stays the same.
Yeah, it is crazy that the Sunday Night Football game is Ravens Steelers for a playoff spot. We don't even know if Lamar Jackson's going to play. I don't know that I would upgrade the Ravens if we hear he is playing. He's just been so uninspiring for so much of this season, and he's clearly playing through meaningful injuries that are affecting his accuracy throwing the ball and any inclination running the ball. I don't know that with a back injury he's more likely to run because this is like win and you're in playoff stakes, but very tough for me to see a world where Ravens get an upgrade because Lamar surprise is available over Huntley. But that said, yeah, the Steelers are quite poor. And how they beat the Lions 2 weeks ago, I'm still scratching my head. How they beat the Ravens when they played them, I'm still scratching my head. The Ravens outplayed them aggressively in that game, and it was just fluky, red zone, letdowns that cost them that one. But yeah, let's put the Ravens in the 4. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is pretty set in stone right now. It would be a humongous surprise if it is not Denver, New England, Jacksonville, 1, 2, 3, and then Houston, Buffalo, Chargers, 5, 6, 7. So I think we can basically start pricing out Ravens with, we'll just say Lamar's done for the season and it's Huntley the rest of the way. Ravens versus Houston in the 4-5. I think the Houston Texans are probably catching a point and a half in that one and are a great bet on the road against the Ravens. Ravens continue to be wildly overrated by market, in my opinion, and have not a lot of positive matchups in that particular contest. So Houston, I think, comes through that 4-5 matchup. Jacksonville, Buffalo, I would expect you're going to see a number like Pick'em in that one. Tough to call right now, not knowing really how healthy Josh Allen is going to be. He obviously has now had x-rays on his foot 2 weeks in a row, which is not where you want to be heading into the playoffs, but he's still the best quarterback when healthy in the entire NFL right now. So it's not something that I'm dying to kind of go against in betting Jags futures. But my guess would be that game's going to be a pick'em. And then in the 2-7 Chargers at New England, you're going to see something like New England -3, -3.5 there. And I'm going to be pretty tempted to take the Chargers just based on the fact that Drake May's playoff debutante experience might be a little tricky against the Jesse Minter defense.
Yeah, no, I love the Chargers as like a sneaky team in the playoffs because they have a good defense and they have a great quarterback who like lifts their ceiling up so high. I understand that they have 5 turnstiles for an offensive line. It's like almost like going to Disney World there for the defensive ends. They can just get let in over and over again. But yeah, like the Los Angeles Chargers right now is kind of the team that I want to focus on because it seems like you might be a little bit higher on them than market. They're plus 950 to win the AFC. Is that like if you had to force bet it right now? I know they're going to be on the road, which makes it a lot tougher for their path. But on the road, if you can beat the Patriots, you might be able to avoid the Broncos and get one of the Jaguars, Texans, or so.
Yeah, I think Chargers got to be a pass, and it's mostly not necessarily being scared of the Pats in the 2-7. It's mostly how are you getting by the Broncos in the 1-7?
Yeah.
Based on how good that pass rush is for the Broncos. You could. Certainly, like the Broncos are not a good team by my numbers. They have huge limitations, especially on offense, especially with Bo Nix in a playoff setting. That guy kind of losing his mind and losing you a game still seems entirely plausible. So Herb could get by a Broncos team in the 1-7. The third week in a row on the road, you're probably going to a very, very difficult matchup against the Texans or the Bills?
Yeah.
Can you outshoot the Bills? Can you avoid catastrophe against the Texans, which you weren't able to do on Saturday? Those are kind of the questions in the back of my mind about winning a third straight game on the road if you're the Chargers. And actually, that would be their fourth game in a row on the road because they're in Denver this week, right? So, yeah, it's a lot of travel. It's a lot of fatigue for a team that is going to be asked to do it on the road 3 straight weeks if they're going to get to the Super Bowl. So I'm pretty cool on the Chargers' chances. I think the Texans absolutely have more life than the market realizes. That defense is peaking. They're relatively healthy. They have Nico Collins, who's a difference maker. CJ Stroud is very, very, he's a value add. I think the fact that they potentially are drawing a beleaguered Ravens or a pathetically bad Steelers team in the 4-5 helps them get a little bit of a leg up in getting to round 2. Their matchup in round 2, if they draw the Jaguars, is pretty fun. If they draw the Bills, they're at home. So there's some fun positives about the Texans round 2 matchups, whether it be New England, Jacksonville, or Buffalo. So yeah, I think that would be the shot I would take in the AFC right now, gun to head. But it is an absolute flat earth the way that the seeding is stacked up, where the teams that you have the least confidence in have home field and sit at the top of the standings right now.
Yeah, it feels really good because, it feels like it's been the most open it's ever been in like a long time, which is both fun and exciting, but also like challenging to sort of predict, especially when someone's asking you, gun to your head, what do you have? Who do you have making?
Well, here's the other thing here's the other reason to go to answer gun to head Rams, gun to head Texans. Like, these are quarterbacks with experience in the playoffs. CJ Stroud has had now 4 playoff games in the 2 years he's been the quarterback. Like, he's gone on the road into some hostile environments and played some really tough teams and played them close. He has, he's taken care of business as a dog at home. Matt Stafford has won a Super Bowl. Like, there are not a lot of other quarterbacks in the discussion here who have won Super Bowls, who will be taking the field in the playoffs this year. Like, that matters. And so I definitely think if you're going to stick your neck out in a flat earth where there is very little separating these teams as we head into the playoffs, I would tack towards experience.
All right. What would be the most exciting Super Bowl in your mind if you had to pick right now from the teams that are available, like in the playoffs right now? Doesn't have to be realistic. Doesn't have to be realistic. Just
full strength Josh Allen against any of the West.
All right. Yeah.
Rams would be the most fun in my opinion. Yeah. Sean McVay and company getting a shot at the Bills would be awesome.
I think we are all rooting for the Bills up north here in Canada, just because it'd be nice to see Josh Allen.
I hope he's healthy, man.
So
My antenna are like red hot that there's something wrong there.
All right, we'll just have to wait and see. Drew, appreciate you joining the show. Happy holidays to you. Happy New Year. We'll talk again in 2026. Enjoy the rest of your holidays. We'll talk.
Best
soon.
of luck. Happy New Year to the team.
Appreciate it. Talk soon, Drew. See ya. Great stuff there from Drew, as always, locking it in, giving us a little bit of a preview of what we could look forward to for the playoffs. I am excited for it. Should be fun. All right. From one playoffs to another, we're going to talk some college football playoffs. And before we bring on Austin, college football playoffs hit different this time of the year. The stakes rise, the crowd gets louder, and now FanDuel is giving you something extra. That's right. All customers get a profit boost every college playoff game day. That means more chances to level up your picks and turn big moments into even bigger wins. Ride with the favorite. Take a shot on the underdog or build a parlay, then apply your profit boost and go for bigger winnings. FanDuel is the best place to get in on the football action all playoff long. And when you win, you'll get paid instantly. So visit FanDuel.com/hitthebooks to get your college football profit boost today. Must be 21 plus and present in select states for Kansas and affiliates Kansas Star Casino, and 18 plus and present in DC, Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restriction apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit FanDuel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/China, Connecticut. or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 1-800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. Let's get rolling. Into our next guest. Chad is asking edge work today. No edge work today. That's tomorrow. Edge work's tomorrow. We get basketball today.
Refined schedule for
Refined
the week.
schedule.
Why don't we quickly look at the...
Yeah, we should probably bring that up. If you missed yesterday's show, we talked about the schedule, but we'll bring it up. No show Thursday, Friday for us here, but there is a show on Wednesday, and that's when you're going to get Edric Overtime with So Money with Alex. Alex is also on yesterday talking World Juniors and NHL in case you missed it. There's still some actionable stuff for the World Juniors there. But yeah, this is our outline for New Year's. If you missed the Circle Back episode live yesterday, so it was a hell of it was a doozy.
It was a good one.
It was a doozy. I recommend you go listen. Hit the books with Kanish and Powers was also good yesterday. Forward progress is where we're going to want to circle in because we have a Tuesday best bet show later today. Saturday prop show as normal. Sunday pizza buffet and a Sunday watch along. We normally do a Monday or Thursday watch along, but of course no Monday or Thursday night football game, so we're going to do a Sunday night football game watch along. Also, Thursday night football game, not in the NFL, in college football. And that will be a watch along with Brad Powers and Joey Kanish.
Pretty sure there's a Friday hit the books as well, which is not listed because I'm producing that show.
Oh.
So
all right, well.
I'll double check with
that.
Yeah,
let's double check that.
But there's a special cast on the Tuesday best bet show, which includes the next guest.
Oh, he's on the all right. Who's on the Tuesday best show? Austin.
Rob, George, Austin, and Suma.
So it might just be George, Austin, and Suma. We'll see.
Yes.
We will see. All right.
But this guy will be there.
He'll be there. He's always there. He never misses this. He's not a Mr. Peanut Butter. He doesn't miss his media availabilities here, as we'll call them. All right. He's college football and does college football and NFL over at The Athletic. He's also seen, as we talked about, on Forward Progress. Big Penn State fan trying to rub it into me saying, hey, we took your defensive coordinator. Austin, how's it going?
It's going good. Yeah, you've had you were rubbing it in a little with Lemon when in the Biletnikoff, which was whatever. But yeah, you gotta be able to take the losses too. So
yeah, it's funny because I think I was I'll expose myself, and I felt really really awkward doing this. But we were talking about Heisman, Biletnikoff, and before the Heisman vote came out, obviously the Biletnikoff award was handed out, and I said, it makes sense. Maybe some apathy towards Jeremiah Smith. People don't really like him. I don't think he's that great. Whatever. Yada, yada, yada. Then the next day I ask you for your Heisman list and who you voted for. There I see number 3, Jeremiah Smith, and I'm like just shit talking to you. Now I feel like pretty awkward about it. We've never really addressed that, and I appreciate you not making fun of me for that.
Hey, no. So like what? Smith finished 6th in the Heisman. So
yeah.
I think I think you hit it on the head though. That like I don't know if it's necessarily the Smith has next year. I think that was kind of like I don't know if that's like whatever you want to call that. Like, hey, he can come back and win it next year. Lemon's going to the draft, that type of thing. I think you got to hit that on the head. That's what happened there, because Smith finished 6th in the Heisman voting and then didn't win the Biletnikoff. Like that's different groups of voters, but like it's just I think that was kind of the thought here. And honestly, Smith was probably a victim. And Julian saying, and honestly, all the quarterbacks except for Pavia were victims to their teams were too good, so their numbers weren't like as impressive. Because like Ohio State didn't trail in the 4th quarter until the Big Ten championship game, so they didn't really ever have to throw. So,
and I feel like also the PR campaign for those quarterbacks. Well, we're like completely off topic here, but PR campaigns for those quarterbacks as well is horrible because we see all these like comparisons of like we even saw like a Jeremiah Love to like. Was it Johnny Manziel rushing stats, and Manziel had more rushing stats? People aren't realizing that like they completely changed the college football rules with like the commercial breaks and the timing, so that it's like the games are essentially shorter. There's less plays, there's less snaps. So obviously, guys from 15 years ago are going to have better stats than guys from today because just less plays. Just how it works. So
that's how it goes.
Yeah. I also wonder if the Lemon argument for him winning, I mean, it's what we saw coming into the week for. Matthew Stafford winning the MVP, but I don't know. Drake May minus 390 right now. Maybe not anymore. Maybe not anymore. If you had to pick one bet between the two, Drake May or Matthew Stafford, like who would you be betting and why?
I would be betting the dog. So if you would have asked me this yesterday, and I actually talked to Suma about this, is I thought May was probably the better bet, but I thought Stafford was the rightful favorite. In this, like, because we saw, like, Stafford on the last drive last night was like 50-50, or it might have been slightly favored to win the. So like, it can switch. And now I don't know if Stafford's going to play, so that's a a big issue here. But I think it's so close, and I think people will kind of, if Stafford has like a really good last game, kind of like Drake May blew up against the Jets, and like that was like it's the Jets, so like it doesn't matter who you're playing. If Stafford has a good game, maybe he can crawl back in. But yeah, it'd be dog or nothing for me there.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to get that in there because listen, we come on the show, we make you talk about college football. I know you have a little place in your heart for NFL as well, so I wanted to give you the floor for that. Speaking of college football, we want to do some look aheads. But before look aheads, you told me you dove into some niche markets. Did you find anything you like there? Or you just want to go straight towards the semifinals?
No, not too much. It's tough. Some of those things are tough priced. So I'm probably more towards the semifinal look aheads would be more interesting. And I'm not the greatest. I'm not into the props as well as some others that hop on the show. So I'll stick to what I know.
All right. We'll stick to what we know, and let's start with. Probably the most, we'll call it like the most likely hypothetical game here would be Ohio State and Georgia. Right now, Ohio State would be 5.5. Is that feels like a little big? I feel like I feel like Georgia's kind of getting like a little disrespect in the market with this look ahead number. You agree with me there at 5.5?
Yeah. So I'm right around there, but if you've listened to me, and you have obviously the last couple times I've been on, I have been low on Georgia compared to the like futures market in during the college football playoffs. So I was surprised to see this. Like, I assumed like, I'll probably have an edge on Ohio State at that number, but I think that number is kind of fair, which makes me think that if this matchup were to happen, Georgia probably catches some money just because I've been lower on them. So, and obviously again, it depends what we get out of the quarterfinals and everything. But yeah, I think the number's kind of fair. Ohio State, like I mentioned it last week, right when I came on, they announced that Ryan Day was taking over play calling duties. I think that's an upgrade for Ohio State. So I think Ohio State's better than that, but I think they have the better defense. I think they have the better offense in that game too. So like, I'm not shocked to see that number as high as we get. Like, Georgia struggles to get pressure. That's one thing that Indiana did not struggle to do with Ohio State. So that's kind of my worry. Georgia's defense has been better in the last month, but I don't know. I'm interested to see how they go up against a quality offensive line in Ohio State.
All right. Oregon, Texas Tech is like the most fun matchup of the week this week. I know we said we were going to do hypotheticals, but are you shocked that Oregon got kind of like bet out to 2.5 minus 114? We might even catch a 3 here. And if we catch a 3, I'm pretty sure it's going to get bet back on Texas Tech right away. But we're creeping towards the 3. Are you shocked about that move?
Yeah, maybe a little bit from like subjectively. My numbers would like, if there's a 3, I'll be hopping on Texas Tech as soon as possible. So it's kind of when it's in these like weird dead spots, like below 3, like nothing really shocks me too much. Now, if we're heading out towards 3, that's a significant move there. The worry that I have with Texas Tech is the offense. The offense hasn't, like, the defense is there. Like, I think they have the athletes, they have the draft talent. Like, they have guys that are projected to go in the first round. Bailey's incredible off the edge. The defensive line's awesome. It's the offense, and it's like, do they have the talent on that offensive side of the ball? Because they haven't been as impressive against their Big 12 counterparts all year. So that's like the worry is, okay, now you're stepping up and playing Oregon, one of the best, a top 5 team in the country by, I assume, most people's who's modeling the college football would probably say Oregon's top 5. That's my concern. So I can understand it. Like, if you're not a believer in the Tech offense, and that's my worry, if a 3 pops up and I'm on a Texas Tech plus 3. But they're one of those teams. I said this because Oregon and Texas Tech were my futures that I liked when we started the playoffs, was that defensive line can game wreck anyone. So that's kind of the hope. You just hope that Oregon can't quite handle the defensive line and front 7 of Texas Tech.
Yeah. Right now, if we go to look aheads, assuming Indiana makes it through, which is what we'll probably do because they are like relatively heavy favorites this week. against Alabama, 7.5, just under 7.5 right now. Probably heading towards a 7. If that goes towards a 7, are you interested in all in Indiana or
in Alabama
or in Alabama? Are you?
Oh no, I'm on the Alabama side.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So I don't. I'm on the dog there.
Yeah.
That would be where I want to be.
Because it's 7.5 juiced right now for Alabama. That's why. So I was just wondering, maybe if 7 flipped open. Maybe you came in on the other side. I guess not. Indiana though, matchup wise, who if you were them and let's say they got to choose their opponent between Oregon and Texas Tech, who would you rather pick? Is it Texas Tech? Is it Oregon? They're both basically 3.5 point. Indiana would be 3.5 point favorites against both teams, according to the hypotheticals right now. If you had the choice and you're Indiana, who would you choose?
Yeah, I would choose Texas Tech. Like I said, I have Oregon as a slight favorite over Texas Tech in the game. I know matchup wise things change, and it's not, as we can see, Oregon's a 2.5 point favorite, but the look ahead line is a 5-cent difference on 3.5. So the matchup matters. But yeah, for the same reasons that I just said about Texas Tech against Oregon, like the offense, Indiana's defense just shut down Ohio State's offense. I think they will feel comfortable doing that against Texas Tech as well. The other issue is like this rubber band effect a little bit. I don't know how much it matters because they played so long ago, but Oregon, Indiana, they already had a crack at it, and Indiana came on top. They kind of dominated in that game. I think Indiana, if I remember correctly, Mendoza threw a pick 6 and Indiana still won by double digits. So just a little bit of that where Oregon can maybe bounce back and catch Indiana with a different game plan or something like that is one of my worries there too. So I think if I'm Indiana and win, I'm rooting for Texas Tech to upend the Ducks.
All right. I know you talked about liking Georgia, being lower on Georgia than market, but Chad is wondering if you have an opinion on the Ole Miss Georgia game. I know we talked about it last show, but just give us a refresher on it.
Yeah, so I would want Ole Miss at 7. Again, the worry here for me with Georgia and why I'm low on them is the defense. I said it earlier today. Like the defense has been much better over the last month. Ole Miss's offense, even without Lane, is still explosive, and I do think that they can move the ball. And my numbers weigh late season performance more than early season performance. So like it's starting to turn on Georgia, but it's still just not there. There's still worry. They don't generate pressure to the amount that I like. And when you can't generate pressure like against a team like Ole Miss who can move the ball, that's a real concern for me. That game earlier in the year was 45-38, I think, if I remember. So it's just if I think that Ole Miss is going to be able to score, if we can get to 7, don't really love it at 6.5, but if a 7 pops up, I would like Ole Miss there to keep that within a score. I do think they're, anybody's live in all of these games, but I do think it wouldn't be shocking to me that Georgia's a little overpriced and we or Ole Miss could win that game. I wouldn't be totally shocked.
All right. I just have one more question before you. I see that there's like a lowest scoring team, for the quarterfinals round. I don't know if you took a look at it. Maybe you did, but intuitively, Miami at plus 140 feels like, I just think that they have like such a wide range of outcomes where they can create explosive plays. I don't think they should be plus 140, and then the next closest should be Alabama at plus 300. I get it. It's because it's a derivative of their team totals. But like when you look at these things, you kind of want to look at the extremities. Do you think is there anyone else you'd rather take instead of Miami at plus 140 for this lowest scoring team market?
Oh, for sure. I think one of the things that hurts Miami on top of that is like they're a big underdog. So Ohio State could get out to a lead.
Yeah.
Which is going to mean they're going to be throwing the ball more. They're going to be playing from behind. That's going to up the score. Like I think I said it last week that I actually kind of lean a little bit to the over in that game. So that would not be a team that I'm going for. I think like Oregon, Texas Tech is interesting for me. Like either of those really is much. I'd much rather go those 2 routes than Miami or even like. It's like the upside. Like I don't know. Oregon at times this year struggled to score. They struggled to score on the road at Penn State. They struggled to score against Indiana. We have seen them struggle to score. So like against a good defense like Texas Tech, could they only score 17 points? Like yeah, I could see that happening. So those two are probably the best. Like Ole Miss and Alabama both have pretty high ceilings on offense, and I don't no thanks. I don't want, like I just mentioned, Ole Miss and Georgia, that angle. Alabama, if Ty Simpson is healthy, they put up points on the road at Oklahoma last week, and they like were non-existent for the first like quarter and a half of that game. So yeah, Texas Tech and Oregon, I think if you're looking for if you're looking to get into that market, much better than the Miami price. I just think the Miami trailing Game State, I don't love it at plus 140. That's a pretty steep price for a team that's almost a double-digit point underdog.
Yeah, of course. It's all again probably all derivative of like them being like totals at 41.5 and their 9.5 point underdog. So like their team total is like what is it like 13.5, 14.5 points. Derivative of that. But anyways, just wanted to ask, and because I wanted to click that, so I might click Oregon when I get off the show. For a low scoring team, because I'm gonna bet with I want to see Texas Tech move on. I think it'd just be fun, good story, fun team to watch. So let's do that. Austin, any final thoughts before you head out on the new year? Any like New Year's resolutions you have in terms of betting, NFL? Do you have like a New Year's resolution for like Penn State where you want them to do something to be better? Like what do you, anything you got here?
No, like I'm pretty neutral in terms of the like rooting standpoint. I'm interested to see what the portal happens, because now we're starting to get rid of the COVID like super seniors, 7-year guys and stuff. Go ahead.
Oh, Diego Pavia's lawyer just filed something to try and get him 2 more years of eligibility. It's just because of the basketball guy.
The junior college kids are different, because they're trying to get those junior college years back. Yeah. But yeah. So that's kind of my, like, the portal's pretty live. We had a crazy amount of turnover with coaching, Michigan, LSU, all of those on top of Penn State, and just how that's going to work, because I don't think you can necessarily build your team through the portal, but I think you can, as Texas Tech has found, you can find those gems. They cost a lot, but I'm interested to see kind of how those goes for teams that like Penn State and Michigan and an LSU who are looking to get back into the playoff for next year. How do they manage to keep their roster and also to find new talent? So that'll be the interesting as we shift to the new year here after the quarterfinal games here, how crazy the portal is going to be.
All right. Excited to see that. Austin, appreciate you joining the show. We will chat soon.
Yep. Thank you for having me. Happy New Year. See you later.
See you later. Awesome stuff there from Austin. We'll talk to him in the new year. If you want to see him before the new year, though, he'll be live today. Forward Progress. 5 p.m. Eastern time. Best Bets Show. Breaking down the entire Week 18 slate. Does that mean we have 4 triple hammers given out today?
I guess so.
If Rob's on.
Rob's sick.
Rob's sick.
You didn't know.
Yeah.
I know Kirk's waiting, but let's run through Guess the Line.
I just want to also quickly apologize, because last night was a great game. It would have been a fun watch along, but we couldn't make it happen.
Yeah, that was one of the better watch alongs you would have had of the season.
Oh well. We got more coming.
More coming Sunday, right? Anyways, let's dig into Guess the Line quickly. This is the game where Jason guesses the line. There's 3 lines to guess. He gets 3 guesses per line. After each guess, I will give him the hint of the over or under on the guess, and he will see if he can get it by the 3rd guess. We're going to start off with Bryce Young, passing yards against the Buccaneers.
Pass funnel defense. I feel like Bryce Young is probably in like the low 200s, high 190s, but because Tampa Bay loves to just invites the passing offense, let's go 234.5 for Bryce Young. Under. Okay. I was right with the 190-ish to 210-ish range. I still think it's going to be higher than what he normally is. So let's go with like 215.5. Under. Okay, wow. 209.5.
Under. It is 199.5. You were like right on it with your projection to start.
Interesting.
Colt 216.5 in the chat. A little bit high there, but 199. We're going to move on to Gunnar Stockton. Rushing yards for the Ole Miss Georgia game. Just to fire.
35.5.
Higher.
Okay, 50.5.
Under.
Okay. There we go. 43.5.
36.5.
Oh,
you were real close to the first guess. Finally,
when you snap click right after I answer and you're like higher, it's like it feels like I think I'm way off.
Hey, I'm full of gamesmanship.
All right.
Read into it. Finally, we're going with Bo Jackson rushing yards. in the Miami, Florida, Ohio State.
God, I don't
Cole got 36.5 first guess. I don't know if he cheated.
He's cheating. He's cheating.
That's pretty good.
Bo Jackson, 65.5 rushing yards.
Higher.
80.5 rushing yards.
Lower.
Okay. 74.5.
71.5. Not to be today, but honestly, you're in like the ballpark. You're closer than I thought you'd be.
I feel like I'm good at these games. I feel like I do.
You
well,
are.
even though I'm never right. But yeah.
There's one you got all three right.
Yeah.
One day. The magical day.
Equals
to get 72.5. Equals on it today.
He's on.
How about that?
Two in a row, right? First guess. I don't know about that one. Before we bring on Kirk, Luke Littler turned heel.
Ooh, yeah.
How do you feel about that?
So he's very used to being crowd pleased. Luke Littler, by the way, world #1 darts player.
He was
18 years old.
Booed on stage, right? And he said to the crowd, "You guys can boo me all you want because your tickets pay for my winning," which is like so nailed.
So basically, it was just funny that afterwards he talked about how much he wasn't bothered by the crowd while he was like irate on stage about the crowd. The crowd likes the underdog, and Rob Cross's opponent was very much playing into the crowd, trying to get him on his side. And Littler, just not used to it, didn't like it. And he's absolutely known for losing his cool when the crowd is against him, especially if he's playing in Germany where they're heavily against him. And he's very outspoken about that. So it'll be interesting. He has an easier road to the final, but it'll be interesting if somebody does actually give him like good pressure and the crowd is against him, how he'll react in one of these longer games. I don't think anyone will beat him, but interesting to follow for the World Darts Championship.
Minus 2,000 right now against Christoph
Ratajski.
Yeah,
that's a brutal name. Christoph Ratajski. Yeah, I don't think Ratajski's got the level in to challenge, so it's like tough to. And Ratajski's not a crowd favorite, so that should be a breeze. But maybe if we go a little bit further, we'll see if he's playing like Searle or Clayton.
He's minus 165 to win the whole thing. That is.
Yeah, he was almost odds on before the tournament started.
All right.
It's crazy.
All right.
Anyways, he's waited a while.
I like making Kirk wait a little bit. I just wanted to bug him here a little bit. He's a basketball originator. He's according to some, he's a doucher in his own words. Kirk, how's it going?
Doucher.
Yeah.
I thought you said toucher.
No, doucher. I was just laughing. I didn't.
Yeah.
I felt bad saying it because like.
You ended our friendship. It's okay.
Yeah. Wow, we had a friendship. That was.
I'll never forgive you.
That was news to me. Your hair looks good.
Our acquaintanceship.
Our work friendship. We'll call it that. Kirk, how's it going?
Doing well. How are you?
Good.
I saw you absolutely talk your way out of that Bryce Young line. Like you had the analysis perfect, and then you went 40 yards high for literally.
Hey, pass funnel defense. I don't know. Were you playing along with us?
I was on mute, so I guess you couldn't hear me. But when you were like doing the analysis and then spat out 236.5, I audibly said no.
You know what? It's part of the game. It was fun. Good at being wrong, apparently. All right, let's get into things though. Where do we start? First of all, like, how do you handle the holiday season with so much NBA action going on? You just like don't see friends and family. You pick and choose your spots. How do you deal with it?
I would say this week, like last week at least, was a bit of a slowdown. Still betting, but definitely significantly less. And now we're back up to full go.
All right. It's like, what is it? We're a third of the way through the season now, almost just over. Almost halfway through the season. Sorry. Looking at the NBA championship odds right now, Oklahoma City Thunder plus 100. Are we still good to go on them just before we get into the props today?
Yeah. They're definitely more than that. Obviously, the Spurs have had their number a little bit, so the number actually drifted back a tiny bit. But this is still like one of the best teams ever. So I will say that Christmas Day game, I lost a lot of money betting on OKC, but yeah, I'm still pretty all in on them.
All right. Let's get into the props then. We like to do the setup method here. So I'm going to tell you guys the game. and then we will go to where to go, and then we will go from there. So we're going to go to Boston, Utah. We're going to go points, rebounds, and assists. And we're going to go to Keontae George, under 34.5, minus 114 points, rebounds, and assists. Now, Kirk, I told you when I told you to come on, I said, winners only, please. So is this one a winner? Talk us through why you like this one here.
Well, it very well could be a void, to be fair.
Right.
So hopefully
better than a loser.
No doubt. This I would have this number too high, even if he wasn't sick. But the sickness going around the league, and I think a lot of people have it in real life as well, is
Yes.
pretty tough. So it's a tough matchup. They're 9-point dogs as well. Keontae's been unbelievable of late, and I really like Keontae's offensive game, but I just can't get to 34.5 PRA in this matchup coming in with an illness. I think he could easily miss, but if he does play, I think there's a lot of roads to him not being full go. Not that he'll necessarily be on a minutes limit, but if they're getting blown out, he'll definitely be the one pulled earliest. He just typically, you see a bit of a reduction in production if you come into the game with an illness. So this is just too high for me.
All right, too high for you. We're going to take the under on Keontae George, 34.5 PRA, minus 114 at FanDuel. Next one we want to go to, where is he? It's the Sacramento Kings and the Los Angeles Clippers. We're going to head over to points. It's actually moved at FanDuel, if you want to just double check. Never mind, it has not. We're good. We're going to head over to points. We're going to Derek Jones Jr. over 7.5 points, minus 102. Hopefully another winner for us here. Talk us through this one, Kirk.
Yeah, so Derek Jones Jr. has been hurt for a while, came back last game. Bogdan's out. John Collins is questionable. It's very possible that Derek Jones Jr. is still on a minutes limit, but this team is just so desperate for depth. Losing Zubac. Like I said, Bogdan's out, Collins potentially out. So I could see them ramping him up a bit quicker than clearly the market expects. Even at 20 minutes with how little depth in scoring they have, I think the 7.5 line is still a bit low. But, if he gets to the 25, 30 minutes, this is just a really, really good bet, and he will be lined, 9.5, 10.5 next game.
All right. Good stuff there. The one more prop we have.
I'm not seeing this on
FanDuel
right now.
Yeah.
But they have them at alt 4+. So let's just do that.
Okay. All right. We're going to go to the Detroit Pistons game. Los Angeles. Pistons and Lakers. We're going to go 4+ rebounds. And you're going to take Jaden Ivey at plus 290. Alternatively, you could take him over 2.5 rebounds at let's say plus 112-ish, plus 110 to 115 across the market is what you can. There's 118 out there. If you only have FanDuel, put it plus 290. If you have other outs, 2.5, 118 out there. Talk us through why you like Jaden Ivey's rebounds against Lakers.
Yeah, another guy who's come off multiple serious injuries. He played by far his most amount of minutes of the season last game. And I'm just buying that there's some noise in that. I'm not sure he's going to play 28 minutes, but he's been lined roughly around 2.5 rebounds in his 15 to 16 minute stints. That's roughly what he's been around his career. So if that minutes increase is real, I think that the 2.5. So I actually do like the alt at 3.5 as well. I have him around 22 minutes, so kind of hedging his last game minutes with his average. But I think he's definitely been limited with his injury. So the idea that they're now willing to scale him up, I'm willing to buy in. And this is just 2.5 plus 112 is just kind of clearly pricing him around 16, 17 minutes. I think that's too low.
Yeah. So they're pricing him around 60 and 17 minutes. You're pricing them around 22. But have you considered how averages always kind of vary, and this stuff is also random? This is a reference. This is a bit from Circle Back. If you didn't,
averages are a crazy thing. Sometimes players don't hit them exactly. It's really crazy.
I'm trying to find the exact tweet. I can't find it right now, but that was a good one. If you haven't listened to Circle Back yet, go Circle Back and listen to Circle Back on the Circles Off YouTube channel. I thought we did a good job.
It was a great circle back yesterday.
Yeah.
It was
Getting
really
good
good
feedback.
one.
Top notch.
Yeah. Yesterday was definitely one of like, it was just heated. It was fun.
It was fun. It was good. All right. Good stuff there. Happy that you're okay with me calling you a doucher. I don't really think you are, even though some people out there do. I don't agree with them. Just get wings with me and we'll be able to mend the fence. Any final thoughts before you head out here, Kirk? Any last words for 2025? Anything you're looking forward to in 2026 in terms of the NBA or just in terms of life in general?
I guess the thing, like the main thing on my mind today is that Jokic injury.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote about Shea MVP. Now that feels essentially like a lock, which, you never cheer for injury. But I'm fascinated what the market does with Denver coming up. Like that, this might be an egregious statement, but I think Jokic to this Denver team, considering there's no Cam Johnson, no Christian Braun, no Aaron Gordon, might be like the most valuable player ever to a spread. So I'm fascinated to see what happens. It's really Jamal Murray and then like very much non-starter level players, even like a bunch of not borderline non-NBA players. Like they're going to be starting a really, really rough lineup. So I'm just curious to see how they do with, Jokic 4 weeks at least. He's never really missed this amount of time, and his on-offs are like the biggest in NBA history. Always when he's off, they're absolutely horrible, and that's typically with Aaron Gordon, with Christian Braun. So yeah, I'm just interested to see what happens with the Nuggets in the coming weeks. I think that's like the most interesting question in the NBA for the next few weeks.
All right, definitely something to keep an eye on. Jokic and the only Ty Crane in the chat saying not a doucher, the originator, as you remember from last show. Kirk, appreciate you coming on. We will chat in the new year.
Absolutely.
All the best.
Hopefully we win some bets.
Fingers crossed. If not, it's all good. It's December 30th, so the clock resets at midnight,
perfect.
December 31st, and you're back to zero. So yeah,
that's how it works for some people.
Kirk, appreciate you joining the show. We'll chat soon.
Absolutely. Later, guys.
Awesome stuff there from Kirk Evans. That wraps up today's show. That's about it for today. If you enjoyed the show, do us a huge favor. You know the drill by now. Smash the like button. Goes a long way here on the channel. If you're new to the channel as well, hit the subscribe button. And you're going to be around friends on New Year's. Take their phones. Subscribe to the channel on their phones. If you're a real fan of the Hammer Daily, you would do that. And if you're not, just send it to your friends. Be like, hey, you might like this stuff. You might like this guy with a mustache talking on your screen. Chosen Sports comes in after the bell. I'll DM Kirk for you, and then I'll send you what he says if he's going to tell me. Anyways, yeah, that's it. Up next on the Hammer, of course, like I mentioned earlier in the show, Forward Progress, Best Bets, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. After that, we have the Wednesday show. And then no more Hammer Daily until the new year. So, yeah. Tune in. Best Bets, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. You're going to want to be there. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. This has been the Tuesday, December 30th edition of the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network presented by FanDuel. We will see you guys right here tomorrow.